Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of our Aghanim's video. If you guys haven't watched part 1, click here to watch the first 8 hero we covered. And if you've already seen it, let's get ready into part 2.
Outworld Devourer. After Sanity's Eclipse is used, every target that got hit will be put into an astral imprisonment. This makes OD hit way harder after his ultimate since you just stole a ton of int from half the team, and it sets up some pretty good combo potential for your team. Viability? The extra health and mana on Ag are nice for OD, and stealing int after a Sanity's Eclipse is just gravy. If you get a Refresher's Orb for another Sanity's Eclipse, almost everyone is going to die. With that said, OD will be a glass cannon if you build that way, so it's situational. Techies. Techies' Minefield sign now hides his mines and makes them completely invulnerable to any kind of true sight. Land, stasis, remote, all of them will be invisible. Viable. Yes. I mean, you always got Ag on Techies anyway. Tinker. Instead of the boosted range, Laser now bounces in a 550 radius to enemy heroes, and you still get the 4 rockets that was added to an earlier patch. This could be useful. The whole bounce thing can be pretty good against illusion-based heroes, or if you really want to apply the laser blind to multiple carry heroes on the enemy team, but Tinker already has quite a few other expensive items that he'd rather have first. Heck, even the new upgraded Boots of Travel, is that really the name they went with? Might be better than Ag. It's situational. Tusk. Tusk can now Walrus kick an enemy and apply a slow. The kick itself doesn't do any damage, but you can control where the enemy will be going, kinda like Earth Spirit's kick. With a snowball and a blink dagger, Walrus kick could be pretty useful initiation for his team. It's definitely viable, but again, some of the other newer items like Solar Crest or Silver Blade might be better on him. Weaver. With an Ag, Time-Lapse now gets a cooldown of 20 seconds, and Weaver can now cast Time-Lapse on his allies from 1000 range. This means that he can essentially heal his allies and even rescue them if they're being heavily focused. What's its viability? Well, the 1000 cast range makes Weaver a pretty huge threat in fights without him needing to pump out massive damage. If he can recover a teammate from near certain death, that's huge. The stats on Ag itself are also pretty nice for Weaver, and for a carry hero, Weaver actually doesn't need that much in terms of items. Depending on how the game is going, this may just be core. Lone Druid. The Spirit Bear now has no leash, and if the hero dies, the bear stays alive. This is absolutely viable and possibly even core now. Lone Druid can split push like a machine and even hunt and kill enemies inside their own jungle from across the map. Syllabear didn't really put many items on the hero himself, since he's so tanky to begin with, but 4.2k gold for a leashless bear is a pretty sweet deal. Wraith King. If Wraith King or his teammates die in 1200 range of him, they get to hang around for 5 seconds as a Wraith. As Wraiths, they can still right-click, use their items, or cast spells, but once the 5 seconds are up, the Wraith will die. Viability. The usefulness of this Ag pretty much directly correlates with how impactful his teammates are. If Wraith King is expected to deal most of the damage himself, Ag's added ability to keep his teammates alive probably won't be that big of a deal. But if you're playing support Wraith King and all you need is a blink dagger, then Ag is a pretty good luxury item, so it's situational, much like many of the other ones. And that's it, I think? I feel like I'm forgetting oh, right. Alchemist. Alchemist can now hand one of his teammates an Ag that he's farmed up. Once he uses Ag on an ally, god, that sounds so weird to say. That ally will get their Ag upgrade, they'll get the stats from Ag, and it won't take up an item slot. Oh, and Alch loses the Ag. Viability. This is pretty viable. You kind of have to draft around an Alch who's going to be farming stuff up and then probably won't have any items 40 minutes into the game, but with Grievel's Greed, it's doable. For heroes like Tiny or Doom or Meepo, the freedom to have an Ag upgrade with no slot penalty and being able to spend that 4.2k gold on something else could be huge. Alchemist is one of the best farming heroes in the game. The question is, would you rather have that farm on him, or donating his farm to allies. That's it for now. My name's Tsunami, thanks for watching. We'll be continuing our in-depth investigation on 6.84 for the next couple of days, so stick around.